This episode is brought to you by ManSense, the only candle company designed for guys who think candles are too fancy. Try bold aromas like fresh cut turf, locker room regret, and 3 beers deep. ManSense, because your living room shouldn't smell like last week's wings. Use promo code FOULPLAY for 10% off your first scent, or just light it and blame the smell on your roommate. And now for the show.
Run this off. Yeah. Hey, Cleveland roots with a reckless style. Take so bold, they're flagrant foul. House on the ice, Notre Dame pride. Wrestle and talk about culture, ride from rich to Nate. It's full court wow. Say back press play, it's flagrant foul. Yeah, it's flagrant foul.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of Flagrant Foul. Rounds are on the bye week this week, so we're coming at you on an early Sunday morning. Coming off the Halloween, trick-or-treating Friday. Yesterday, I guess, was a little bit of Halloween, and now it's Christmas. Now that it's officially November 2nd.
We got Thanksgiving.
Halloween. That's just like the pregame for Christmas. That doesn't really count.
Yeah, that's a good call. I feel like we're on our game today. You know, we don't have the stress of worrying about a Browns embarrassment today. We're up bright and early. We're like a day or two earlier on a recording and bright early in the morning. So we're ahead of the game right now. But yeah, so I have some Halloween thoughts, Nate. First off, what was the costume this year?
Morgan and I were Dale and Brennan from Step Brothers.
Sweet.
We could insert a pic here that you could throw on if you want to post it. It was pretty good. The wig was a tad snug, so I bailed on it about 20 minutes into the costume, but it was funny. I thought more people were gonna get it. Once we were like, oh, we're Step Brothers, everyone's like, oh, that makes sense. But it wasn't one of those where people got it instantly.
Yeah.
How was passing out candy? I heard not too good.
Yeah, so, you know, I have some thoughts, and it makes me feel sad. I'm going to sound like old man Jenkins here. It makes me feel sad for all the youngins out there. I feel like when I was growing up, Halloween was like one of the greatest nights of the year. Like, you just didn't get candy whenever you wanted. So, like, you know, you were game planning. You were wearing like your best outfit that you could cover some territory, mapping out your routes. Is usually like the first time your parents were like, yeah, you can go out with your friends late at night, stay out as late as you want. It was like when you were young, it was the first time that happened. And then, you know, you're trying to get as much candy as you can because you're going to ration it for like, you know, a couple years or something. But now it's like we had 4 groups of kids the entire night. It's so bad. Like, no one's out trick-or-treating. Our street's so lame. All these freaking old a-holes on our street with their lights off, taken out, making sure that nobody comes in their yard. It's like you can just see kids walking down the end of the street being like, oh, I'm not walking all the way down there for just one house. It's just me and green beans out in the driveway. We got the nice little fire pit and beverage set up, you know, out there. Had a ton of candy. But yeah, it's annoying, man. I feel like that was one of the greatest nights of the year. Where the hell is everybody? Where are the kids? Now, I will shout out, there was a couple on their bicycles that were lit up that were reverse trick-or-treating. They were basically just riding around looking for people to give candy to, so those people are cool. And then yesterday, the day after, I had 3 young kids showed up at my door and were like, do you have any leftover candy from the night before? And I was like, you know what? You had the balls to come do it. That's a good call right there. So I hooked them up. I gave them quite a bit of candy. So those kids are cool. My neighbors suck. And I don't know where the rest of the kids are, but yeah, it made me sad. It made me really sad, but whatever. How about you? Were there a lot of kids over?
So driving home, because I got off at work at 6, and I guess everyone starts at like 5:30 or 6. Driving home through the neighborhood over here, not many people at all. But I think that there's a million trunk or treats going on these days that people kind of get their candy out of the way and no one wants to go. I mean, this year we lucked out it being on a Friday night, but a lot of people, I think, stay away when it's on a weekday, which I think is lame.
Yeah.
I mean, I recall going, like, we didn't leave till it was dark, and we would be out forever, like till 10 o'clock. And I feel like everyone's like, oh, it's 8, everyone's gone now, which I feel like is pretty lame. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to go to every single house and get every single piece of candy? Like, I'm walking the entire neighborhood if that's what it takes. That's what
Yes.
I felt like we did. Especially like middle school, like I think up until maybe like fifth grade, sixth grade, we
Yeah.
went with you guys. But after that, like we went with our friends and just disappeared into the night. Um,
I
but
have some
we went.
theories though. I think like obviously people are afraid to let their kids out anymore, but I would say the other
Yeah, I feel
part of
like
that is
they're coddled a little bit.
yeah, too much access to treats and candy and things. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't just like you're at the store going, "Get me some candy," and you just got candy. You were like scrounging the cushions of the couch so you could go up to the little drugstore and buy like 5 cent now and laters and stuff like that. So like free candy was the greatest night of the year. Now people are like, "It's just candy. I don't really care about it." Kind of makes me want to lose my mind a little bit. So I did want to ask you your favorite. I wanted to revisit some of Nate's best of Halloween costumes in the past. I do remember. I know the bear posted up a pretty sweet pic of you in a pretty nice pirate costume, looking pretty dripped out there with the flip flops on. And I know you guys did SpongeBob one year. What am I missing? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I was iced out as Jack Sparrow. I don't recall wearing the flops and double belted up, but that was a great one. Um, we did Napoleon Dynamite one year. I think Claire was Napoleon
That's
Dynamite.
right.
I was Kip, so that one was
That's
pretty
right.
sweet. And I had the La Fonda cardboard.
Yeah,
Um, we did the Iron Maiden shirt with the jean jacket and the luscious mullet. I
that
don't know
was.
if
I
you remember
remember
that
that.
one.
Yep, I did the
And
stud
then
muffin that year.
what else did I do? I was trying to scroll through your Facebook to find some old pictures because I couldn't really remember. Um, I think in sixth grade, I recall throwing together. I found the picture. This was what I was, and I think I just kind of like last second threw it together, threw some baseball pants on, and put an Indians shirt on,
Hmm.
and I was an Indians player. But prior to that, I don't really remember
I think you did
anything
Delhomme
else.
one year, didn't you?
I did do Jake Delhomme. I did do
I
Jake
thought you
Delhomme
did. Yeah, that's
with
right.
the Jake Delhomme Panthers jersey. I had a Panthers hat, the wristbands. I was dressed out to the nines with the Jake Delhomme outfit.
I will
That one was
say
pretty
so.
sweet.
And by no means do I like the Panthers, but Jake Delhomme was a cool guy because I remember seeing we'd drive by his house, or I did, on the way home from work. I think he was on Providence, and dude would be out just mowing his lawn,
Hmm.
waving when people honk. So he seemed like a man of the people. He was a cool dude, but yeah, just hitting some of the highlights from my Halloween's past. So a couple good stories. I had a dentist who was a neighbor behind us, Dr. Winkle in Avon Lake. That dude gave out toothbrushes. So that was always fun because the next morning his entire front yard would just be covered in toothbrushes because nobody wanted a freaking toothbrush. They wanted some candy. So that was a good one. Trick or treated the nuns convent at St. Joe's as the devil one year. That was pretty cool. They knew exactly who it was. Didn't want to let me in, but they did. Halloween '89 stands out. My man Jason Welch's garage. We had the little Kiss tribute going on. Nice little crowd. Play for a little bit. Not well, by the way. They just ran the neighborhood and got candy. So those ones were fun. But I tell you, growing up at Avon Lake, it was always, this is the type of strategic planning that went into Halloween. It was like, do you do Lake Road, where all the rich people were, which you had the stingy rich people, but you did have the rich people that gave out like the full size candy bars, but they had like the really long driveways. So it was like, were we going to sacrifice the time to go run the long driveways and not get as many houses? Or did we want to go over and get like into some of the, the older neighborhoods where all the houses, where the bungalows were bunched together and you were, getting tons of houses at once. So, it's definitely a quantity over quality situation there. But yeah, and then you got to a point where the costumes were like, I'm gonna be a bum every year with running shoes on because I bet you could put up any world-class runner against me, and on Halloween night I was beating them while lugging an extra 15 pounds of candy and a pillowcase. So yeah, good times, but feel sad for today's youth. I hope it comes back around. But yeah, it was a little depressing for me. Beans was like, this makes me not want to do this anymore. And I was thinking, it kind of made me too, because I was angry. But the other part some of us heroes out here have to be keeping the dream alive, have to be keeping this whole holiday going. So, like, if we give up and somebody else gives up, then eventually there's just no more Halloween. So, I'll sit out there. If there's one kid, I don't care if you're 5 years old or 87 years old, if you're participating in the spirit of Halloween, which is just about having a good time, you're getting candy for me. You want to come over if you're of age and have a beer with me by my fire pit? Absolutely. I'm all for it. And for the kids that came the next day, you guys are awesome. I'm going to have a little backstory, like you guys weren't allowed out or whatever, but you refused to let your parents get away from you and your Halloween fun. So you were at my door at like 9:30 in the morning, but good on you. And we need kids with more balls like that are willing to just like go and knock on Rando's house and ask for candy. So, and I was mad because I gave them like these 2 huge handfuls. They only had 1 little bucket, but on the way home Friday, I was like, we're not going to have enough candy, so I'm going to hit up the store, and like Safeway had everything 50% off. So I just snagged like a whole extra 155 piece that never got open. I should have just gave them that entire bag and made their year. If I had it to do again, I would have just handed them the whole thing, but I didn't think about it. I had to just grab the bowl. So whatever, enough about Halloween. Hey, can I just say that was a nice little break from you and I coming on here angry about the Browns for a change? God, it's like sort of liberating. And the sad part is like, this is just a little blip in the radar because, you'd like to say and be like, oh, well, you just stop watching the Browns or being a fan. That's not our lot in life. Like, we've been sentenced to 100 years plus another 100 of being a Browns fan. And we'll be back at it next week crying about it and being angry. But we do have a few Browns things to get into here. So, so the trade deadline, what are we, the 2nd? Trade deadline's Tuesday, right? 4th?
I believe so, yes.
I believe so. And I've heard, you hear are they sellers? Are they not sellers? What's going to happen? I know I mapped out the next several weeks for the boys. What the Browns and the AFC North schedule looks like. Sadly, we could be sitting like a game out of the AFC North here in about like 2 weeks from today, like after the game. So like we're going to be in it. So we haven't given up. We all know we're not, but they're going to keep our hopes alive. So like, names I've heard are Wyatt Teller, obviously Miles is going to come up. And Joku's one that's come up, and Jerome Ford. Personally, I don't think anybody gets moved because I think Miles is going to be a tough one for us to unload, and we would have to get a lot back. Outside of that, I just sort of feel like who's going to give us what value at this point for anybody else? Maybe Jerome Ford, but, I don't know. Well, so anyway, I'm going to hear what you think on those.
I believe I saw it this morning that the Browns, everyone's like, oh, Browns are going to be sellers, Browns are going to be sellers. And now they're saying that they're more likely to be buyers than sellers. Did hear the Miles. I heard that they said no chance on him getting traded, but then they're saying Eagles are willing to give up 3 firsts for him. I'd consider it, but I don't love getting 3 firsts from the Eagles because that's a 2nd round pick realistically. I mean, the Eagles are going to have a 25 to 32 pick, like, so if it's that low in the 1st round, I don't really feel like it's worth it. So I don't foresee that happening. Have heard my Njoku. Have heard. I don't know if I've heard Jerome Ford, but I wouldn't be against it. I have heard Rayshawn Jenkins possibly being moved. Which I think he's done fine. So if they're going to be buyers, then go out, get a offensive tackle, go get Garrett Wilson from the Jets, go get something that we need.
Yeah. I think really the Ford rumors I heard were a couple weeks ago, and that was, some teams looking for, a running back depth. And I will say, we've been pretty critical of Jerome. The way he is being used, not the play calling, but like the downs are bringing him, he's not had a horrible year after that first week or two. Like, it's been okay in run blocking. He's actually been good in some short yardage situations. I think his hands have been relatively good. So, like, I could see some value from a vet like him. Like, he's not been terrible, and absent, Sanders, who I wanted to see, who's been on the training what do you call it? The practice squad. We haven't really seen enough of him. So I don't, again, it's like the reliability there. So Yeah, he's been okay. He hasn't been bothering me, so I don't really want to lose him. The thing with that's a excellent point with the Eagles. Like, definitely, those are 3 low round picks, and I mean, I just like rationally, you go, yeah, stockpile high level picks and let's build this team. Irrationally, I'm tired of it. And the anomaly that was this year's draft class, Andrew Berry, who is horrible, like, I don't trust him to use those picks wisely. And I'm not trying to wait forever. Like, I know that's completely irrational thought, but like, it's time to stop using that narrative. It's time for you guys to get your shit together, turn it around, and start winning. Other teams have done it, and your fan base is getting really sick of this waiting crap. So, I don't know. I don't know if anybody will get moved. I think Miles getting moved is tough because I still think if we move him, there's a significant cap hit that we take next year. Um, and Joku, Harold Fannin, I think that's sort of been the talk that I've heard that, like, you see what you've gotten out of Fannin, so it makes Njoku more expendable. Like, Fannon's still mid in the blocking game, and, like, that still just takes you down to literally one decent tight end if you move Njoku. And the way this shit offense is playing and are, like, allergic to going downfield, like, you better have some tight ends and some backs that can catch the ball, because who else is going to catch a screen 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage? Or, what other tight end are you going to throw a hospital ball to over the middle? Like, I think they should keep him. So, I don't know. We'll see the next 2 days. I'm sure the media, between AI and stupid national and local Browns media, there'll be all kinds of ridiculous overread into everything rumors. So yeah, we'll see. I think other news from the bye week, you see Shadur came to see Pops yesterday.
You see it. He said he was staying in Cleveland to get big ready, whatever that means. And then I think that was just a whole like plot to surprise him.
Probably. But the media is just all like, he knows something we don't. Just, please, everybody, just shut up. I'm not going to pretend to get inside the mind of Kevin Stefanski. Like, he actually has like a well thought out strategy for how he's bringing along his quarterbacks. Like, that dude's still trying to figure if he's getting like moon over my hammy or whatever that is on his Denny's menu on the sideline that he's looking at through half the game. But yeah, I saw that. He brought his dad no luck. They took another throttling.
Oh yeah,
CU did.
they're terrible.
They are bad, dude. Which makes you wonder, like, he's got so many guys, former pros on staff or around the team right now. And it's like, it comes down to being able to get talent. Like, people don't want to come out of the talent-ridden areas to the middle of nowhere, Colorado, where they can't just come home quickly. Like, it's a hard place to recruit.
They did lose a lot of people last year. Like, I'm not saying that last year was a fantastic team, but they lost a lot of people from that team. So they're in a bit of a rebuild, I would say.
I would say in today's college football environment, too, to like, I know that people were complaining, like, oh my God, you retired Shadur and you retired Hunter's numbers and this and that. Like, it was so mediocre. Like, I get what you're saying, that they didn't achieve a ton, but if you look where that program was and you look at what they were able to accomplish at that program, and then you see now, like, they were coming off of, like, he's bringing in good coaches and there was a lot of hype there, and, there's money to be had, and, like, it's a hard place to win. So it sort of makes what they did look a hell of a lot better than at first glance.
I mean, even if you don't, like, just football statistics, that doesn't qualify them, I think, for getting their numbers retired. But like, like you said, when you break it down to like, CU was garbage, and then they brought so much money to that school. Like, the things that they've done, they put them on the map pretty much. Like,
yeah, no one wanted to come play at CU at all. So,
and now like they got a good freshman. They like quarterback. They were able to get the Liberty dude, Caden Salter, I believe his name is. Like, they're bringing some good guys in. I mean, they're obviously still missing some pieces, but like, they put them on the map, and that doesn't happen if Shadur, Travis Hunter, and Dion don't come to see you. So they did a lot for them outside of just playing football. And I think that people at CU would agree that Like, obviously, there's just college football fans who are like, oh, they didn't do anything. They never won a bowl game. Why are they getting their numbers retired? But like, you're not there seeing like what they actually did for that campus. I mean,
Yeah, and you can't talk about like, if you look at some of the past CU teams that were good, so, forgive me for not knowing my history great, but if you go back 80s, 90s where they had some success, like the college football environment is not the same thing as it was. You got power conferences, of which I wouldn't say they're in one. And then you got, with the NIL money and stuff like that, like it's not the same dynamic it was when you guys played. It's actually harder, I think, to recruit and get talent to play out here. Prior to Dion getting there, I think Wyoming was probably out in this area, the better, more hype program that was going to get that talent to go up there and play. I mean, obviously Josh Allen was a little bit of an anomaly because it's not like he was heavily recruited and he accidentally ended up being good. But, realistically, he brought something to that program. So, well, going back to the Browns, I don't have a lot more on them, but I do want to talk about the AFC North. I threw this in our Browns chat the other day. Our Browns chat entitled Super Bowl 26, which is looking less and less likely. So soon to be our Browns chat Super Bowl 27 here when we have to rename it. But, I was looking at the next several weeks, and while the Browns are not a good team, you look at this week, I had week 9, Browns are on bye. I have Bengals. I actually have them winning against the Bears, but I can
I
honestly
don't
see the
foresee
Bears
that
beating
happening,
them.
to be honest.
So that would be great. But I was trying to be conservative in my estimates. I'm not trying to look at the next couple of weeks and being like, everybody loses and we win, and here's where we're at. So, I had Bengals winning. I have Steelers losing to the Colts, and Ravens winning. So that, part of that came to fruition. Next week, look, the Browns should beat the Jets. Even on the road, should. And even if they get horrible offensive play, if that defense plays like we know they can play, like the Jets offense is so bad. So we'll see. Will Denzel come and, will he come out and actually play this week? He had a rough last couple weeks, I think, but outside of that, can we bring the pressure? Does Miles feel like playing the whole game, or, will he decide to take his usual 50 to 60% of plays off? I'm completely making up percentages here, so whatever. That may or may not be fair. But, so that should be a win. Ravens next week, I have winning. Steelers lose. Bengals on bye. And then going into week 11, I have, so basically, who did we have? They have the week after that into week 10. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. You got Ravens at Vikings. I don't know. Vikings are hurting a little bit right now, so I don't know that I'm going to say that they don't win that game, or they will win that game. Chargers should beat the Steelers,
How about
but
that?
Chargers over Steelers, I think
don't
they
know about
can.
that.
I think that's a winnable game. But
Depends on what Steelers show up.
the fact of the matter is, like, I think it's highly likely that we could go into week 11, Steelers, Ravens, Bengals at 4-5, and the Browns at 3-6. So, we got Ravens at home, which Lamar looks like amazing the other night. So, of course, that has to happen. We'll have him. You and I will get a front row seat to watch that massacre firsthand. And then Cincy at Pitt. So somebody's going to lose. So, we're a game out. If realistically, now I'm not saying something crazy can't happen and you get like Steelers, Raven, Bengals just basically blanket out going to and win all their games going to 11. But I mean, I think it's realistic to think that we could be going into week 11 a game out. And then strength of schedule wise, Steelers have the toughest strength of schedule the rest of the way. I think that they were not as good as we thought, as their record showed, I should say, and we're going to find out because they have a tough schedule the rest of the way. Bengals, they're 22, but Browns and Ravens have really easy schedules. So this is looking real nice for the Ravens. Can we put ourselves in a wild card position? I mean, we're not out of it, but man, a lot has to happen. How are you feeling about that?
I could see it happening. I do feel like now that Lamar's back, the Ravens are just will probably win out. But realistically, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we rattle off a couple dubs. I mean, the defense is so good. If the offense the offense doesn't need to be a Super Bowl winning offense. They just need to score 20 points, which
Yeah.
what week is this? I don't know.
We've done it once.
Yeah, I mean, and we have it actually. If you really want to get technical, we beat the what was it? The Dolphins,
Yeah,
and the defense scored like half the points.
that's
So
fair. Yeah. And there was an
so
accidental throw to Harold Fannin for a touchdown, so that we'll let him have that one.
yeah, but I mean, if adjustments are made, which we're this far into the season and no adjustments have been made, so I'm not gonna like count on that, but it could happen. I'm not gonna say that it's a definite.
So, like, is there a chance it won't? Yes. Is there a chance that we'll be right there, but then completely poop the bed the rest of the way and I'll melt down every game the rest of the year? That's highly likely.
That sounds like the most likely situation.
With this many games left in the year, 9, do I want to sit here and be like, we're completely out of it and know I have to watch Sunday games with no hope? No. I will delude myself and act like we have a chance and we're going to run the table 11-6 when we know damn well they're not. But, this is what I'm talking about with the rebuild. Can you imagine, like, I'll be honest, as bad as we've been, can you imagine being the Titans right now? 'Cause they're bad. And they need a lot of pieces. They're not good really anywhere on the side of the ball. And like being that fan base is sitting there waiting for, any sort of hope for years and years is insane. So, well, I don't know. That's about all I have for, thoughts for this week during the bye. I do want to transition to some college football, but I do need to quickly address last week. Nate and I did a little clip up, put some videos out. We're talking about just sort of our lot in the life as Browns fans and just, basically we had a division in 89. We've not been a juggernaut since basically like 1964. We've never been to a Super Bowl. Obviously, that means we've never won an AFC North title. Or an AFC title. Like we've had some competitive years like in the early 80s and then during the Bernie days, even when we didn't win the title, but at least they were fun to watch. And those basically since 99, we've had like maybe 3 years that were okay and like one playoff win. So all that to say is we were just sort of talking about imagining being like a fan base has just had like success, what that's got to feel like. So we're talking to you Chiefs, we're talking to you Philly, we're talking to you Pats. And of course, of all of that, as if you couldn't hate the fan base more because they get all the calls. And also the helmet to helmet that you all defend against Higgins when the Browns should have beat you and would have gone to the Super Bowl a few years ago. Like, you're all high if you think that wasn't a helmet to helmet. But the Chiefs fan base had the nerve to come on our video and basically be like, you guys don't know how hard it was before Andy Reid. And you have 4 Super Bowls and you've been competitive and like, let me say this explicitly as I can. Shut the fuck up. Do not compare yourself to the Cleveland Browns. You're nowhere close to even trying to make an argument or being in the stratosphere of feeling the pain of being a Cleveland Browns fan. And of course, those are the guys that came on and cried. I about passed out. Nate, what was your reaction to that? I know I was it pretty much ruined a couple days to know that there are people that delusional and take their winning team for granted so much that they're going to be like, there was a time where there were years where we didn't win Super Bowls. Shut the fuck up. The
Browns are the most sorry, embarrassing, pathetic excuse for a sports franchise in the history of any professional sports league. I genuinely can't understand that. The Chiefs and the Patriots fans,
the Pats fans didn't even say anything. Somebody tried to use the Pats as a reason that the Chiefs were bad. It's not the Chiefs. Look how good the Pats. You want to look at the Pats, who are the most winningest Super Bowl franchise, and that's your excuse that you're a downtrodden fan base?
They don't understand what we would give just to be a playoff team every year, make the Super Bowl, let alone win it.
Nate, I would take going into week 17 challenging for a wild card every year. Yeah. Just
a winning record every year.
Something to play for. And
Yeah.
you have the nerve. Are you out of your mind? That if I could not stand them more, I don't know if it was possible. I was just like, of course, it was the Chiefs that would
Yeah.
have something to say. Now, if you want to be somebody that I would honestly like, no one's got it as bad as us. But if you want fan bases that I don't root for them, but I don't begrudge them some success, like Detroit. Detroit was shitty for a
Hmm.
really long time. So if Detroit goes through and gets one, good on them for that team and that area being absolutely horrible and winning one. But are you serious? And you know what? It almost, not to the extent because they haven't won as much. It's very much our time in Charlotte where you had people being like, oh my God, the Panthers are so bad. They suck. To be like, you go to the playoffs every single year. You went to a Super Bowl and lost it, but you went. And then did you not win the NFC North your second year in the league, or you at least made the NFC Championship game? I think so. The audacity of you or any of the other 31 teams to compare themselves to the Cleveland Browns and their loyal fans, the most loyal fans in all of sports, hands down. It infuriated me. It kind of ruined my day. I don't know about you.
The Browns have not won the division since the 80s. We went 0-16. They took the team away from Cleveland. Worse than that. I was born in 2003, and the first time I saw the Browns in the playoffs was 2020. We've seen one playoff win, 2 playoff appearances since they've come back. Actually, I don't think that's true. But 2 playoff appearances in my lifetime. The Browns are a terrible franchise. The Chiefs go 0-16, go 30, 40 years without winning your division, have your team taken away from you, move to another city, then we'll talk.
I mean, they act like the Mahomes era with their only Super Bowl, too. No, it wasn't. It's unreal. But, I refer to the Ravens first Super Bowl. I mean, they deked us. They Quebec nor deked us. And yes, I'm an Avs fan, but, you have a team that's just an abomination for years. They moved to Colorado and are good and get 2 cups. You got the Ravens, terrible. Art scumbag Modell takes them to the Baltimore. They win 2 Super Bowls, so they Nordiqued us. So infuriating, but whatever. The other thing I want to get into, and I think this was just sort of based off some I'm gonna be for real because there's way more Miles supporters than there are not, and whatever. I'm not even going to get in on that. There's things about him that really bother me. And then what it comes down to is, is he talented? Does he deserve to win a Super? Nobody deserves to win anything. You get drafted and get an opportunity. And he's good and he's a specimen. And then he took the money and he was going to have his opportunity to leave and he didn't. So whether the Browns are managed terribly or any of that, you could have not been here, but you chose to. So I really don't want to hear it. And what I'm getting at here is I know the players put the time, the effort, it's their livelihood. Granted, they're playing a game and they're being paid a lot of money for it. But this perception of fans can't call us we, or they care more than the fans. I'm calling bullshit on it because the fact of the matter is your franchise exists, particularly the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns went away and the city of Cleveland went apeshit and they got their team back. You've never seen that before. They got their colors back. They got their history back because the people care. And they continue to root for this horseshit team year after year after year after owners like Haslam basically don't care and want to feed us a line of bullcrap and ignore the facts of what's really going on. We get to call the team we. In a roundabout way, we do account for your salaries, whether it's ticket prices or merch, or whether it's supporting you so that your team actually exists. So this whole you care, you guys are getting paid a lot of money. You could take a fan from Pittsburgh that'll become a Browns fan if you pay him millions of dollars a year. We're doing this for free, guys. We could root for any team we want. We're rooting for the Browns. So, we're here, we're showing up, we're supporting, we're watching the games, we're watching the Sunday ticket to watch you get your asses handed to you every year. And the fact of the matter is you play in a short window where you get paid millions of dollars and you can leave at some point. So the fans care more. Don't say they care, not at all. And yeah, we get to use the word we. So controversial take or not, I think that's 100% fair. You have any feelings strongly one way or another, or am I just a crazy person?
I 100% agree. I don't think that anybody cares as much as the fans. I mean, the players 99% of the time don't choose to come to Cleveland outside of like the 3 free agents we've signed in the past 20 years. Like, people don't come to Cleveland on their own doing. So the fact that you got traded here or drafted here, and now, like, we've always cared. You just care because you're on the team. Tomorrow when you get traded, you don't care anymore. So I 100% agree that the fans are the team.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And if this is a stretch, but I mean, Cleveland's not the worst place you can be. And you look at guys like there aren't a lot of guys that choose to be here, but Joe Hayden's one. I was so mad at him. He wasn't playing great. He left, but like he went to Pittsburgh, who definitely had more success than his time in Cleveland. And where did he choose to come and retire as? A Cleveland Brown. Why? Partly because Pittsburgh's a horseshit hole in the wall, and partly because Cleveland is a premier world city. But I mean, that's my thoughts. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm done. I'm done talking about the Browns. I need to get back into my staycation away from them. But I do. I know you were into it. You had a nice little Saturday plan. Nate home alone. I think I texted you midday. You had some Taco Bell and some beers going on. You were all nestled in for a nice day of watching college football and PlayStation. Notre Dame, take it away. They got the job done, but they made me very angry doing in the course of doing so.
They were kind of ruining my day there for a little bit. I will say, like, coming off the bye, that's always tough to do. Boston College still is a 1-win team. So, I mean, I was expecting a bit of a more shellacking, but I mean, like, a win is a win in the sense that, like, many teams don't go in against, like, bad teams and destroy them. Like, Ohio State's one where unless you're a top 5 team in the country, you're probably going to get it up the butt. But the rest of the country, like, it's a Division I school for a reason. I mean, like, it's not a cakewalk. Some teams are worse than others. But at the end of the day, these are Division I athletes. With that being said, I do think that Notre Dame should have beat Boston College worse, and it was really making me angry that the whole, like, first half, even into the third quarter, the commentators were like, "Oh, we got something brewing here. Boston College getting ready to upset the number 12 team in the country." I'm like, let's simmer down. They're not even winning yet. Like, let's let them take the lead, and then we can talk upset. And despite Notre Dame's best efforts to lose that game, because they shot themselves in the foot 15 times, they still were able to pull off a 15-point win. So, it was fine. I mean, CJ Carr's still a dog. Jeremiah Love still winning the Heisman. He's a dog. The defense is garbage. I think that the defense is getting worse.
He had a nice 95-yard. His 95-yard touchdown. I'm not even sure if he got out of second gear.
But yeah, he was like jogging.
That was sweet. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
But yeah, the defense is not what I thought it was. Leonard Moore has definitely some stuff to prove. He's kind of been getting toasted. I mean, they did end up with a couple picks, and like they had some sacks. Like, all in all, on the stat sheet, they played fine, but realistically, they did shoot themselves in the foot a little bit.
The reffing was not great.
It was all right, but we had some calls go our way, some calls go their way, so I can't really get upset about that. 3 different place kickers attempting kicks in that game, and they all missed a kick, so that was pretty pathetic.
I'm literally doing open tryouts every day this week on ND campus.
Unless I missed something, I thought that Eric Schmidt dude, I think he's a freshman, I thought he had been kicking, and I thought he was doing fine. I must have missed something. I didn't realize that he was struggling. That's why we were sending a couple different people out there. But we got to figure it out, and we need to, like, pick somebody. Because this whole, like, oh, he missed, let's try the next guy. Oh, he missed too, let's try the third guy. Like,
leaving 6 points
we gotta
on
have
the board.
A kicker. We got to have a kicker. That hurts. Going into the half, especially, like, we missed that extra point, the first touchdown, and then you go for 2, don't get that. It's a 12-7 game going into halftime. Making that field goal right before half, like, okay, we got our extra points back. We're good. We're in a safe spot. Um, then we shank that, like, it hurts.
Yeah.
It didn't affect the score necessarily, but, like, the momentum and everything, you could definitely see, like, the air was taken out of the Notre Dame sideline. Like,
Yeah.
you get, what was it, 20, 30 seconds to drive down the field, get him in field goal position, and then he's just like, "I'm gonna kick this into the parking lot."
Yeah. I take the
It hurts the
2-point
team.
conversion out. That's 5 points you leave on the board. Um, and it makes me wonder because I know like the 2 previous games, I was frustrated with us getting down the red zone and going for it on 4th and not getting points out of it. And now it's making me wonder, like, is Freeman like he's that worried about his kicking game? Is that why we're not taking the points? It's apparently there's some legitimacy
I
to
also
that.
feel that, like, the going for it's instead of kicking field goals, like, we're not doing that against Ohio State. We're taking our points, but, like, it's Boston College, and
Yeah.
we're probably
So
gonna get it a majority of the time. We're gonna get the 4th down play.
So I'm not going to say Boston College is good. They're 1-8. I don't think they're a 1-8 team. Obviously, their schedule for them not good. They lost in 2 OTs to Michigan State. Michigan State's not good, but Big Ten school. Lost to Stanford, but Cal they lost a close game. Cal's good. Um, they got lost to Pitt. Pitt's a good team. They lost to Clemson's a good team. They lost to Louisville's a good team. They lost to Notre Dame. So like their schedule
Pretty tough.
isn't it's a fairly tough. So I would not necessarily like I'm not trying to say that they're good, but I mean I think that they put up 24 against Louisville. Louisville's been playing really good. So I mean I think they have a pretty tough schedule. So I'm not gonna call them a cakewalk. And even the rest of the way, they got SMU, they got Georgia Tech, and they got Syracuse. Like they honestly
This is a pretty
have
solid schedule.
yeah, like their schedule's pretty tough. So
I mean, like,
is
it
it
could be we won by 15 points, but, like, Miami yesterday played SMU. They were a 3-win team going into that game. They lost. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
there's only a handful of schools in the country that are destroying, like, the bad teams. And, like I think back to Ohio State because, like, they've been putting the work on a lot of schools, and I think that Ohio State's just, like, leagues above everybody else. But, like, they're one of those teams that's, like, you're gonna have to put out a really good team for them to have competition, and if you don't, like, they're gonna get after it, and, like, they're gonna put up as many points as they can. But, like,
Yeah.
there are some schools that, like, they're winning games, but it's not a blowout. They're squeaking out some wins, like, against teams that aren't ranked.
Yeah.
So I don't think that this is a knock on Notre Dame. I mean, coming off the bye,
Yeah.
I think that they had some rust to knock off, and they were able to figure it out. I mean, CJ Carr went, like, almost 3 hours without throwing an incompletion. He's still a
3
dog. I
hours.
love that. I'm serious. I think it
Yeah.
was like either 2.5 hours or 3 hours from his between incompletions. But, like, love that we could throw the ball down the field now. So the offense is looking good, and I think that was what we were missing last year. If we had last year's defense with this year's offense, we're winning the national championship. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We still got a lot to put together.
We do, and I think I always want to win a national championship, but do I think they will this year? I'm like no. But, make the playoff and use it as a launch pad 2 years in a row, make the national championship with a young team, highly touted draft class going in the next couple of years. I think it sets us up, for a lot of positive things happening at Notre Dame. Going back to the kicking game, I'm literally like, I'm setting up goalposts in front of touchdown Jesus. I'm hoping like all week I'm doing open tryouts. First person to hit 5 in a row from 30 is getting pads and a jersey. I'm not talking about stuff. I'm talking like, can we make extra points here? Can we make like a 35-yarder? That's it. But
Especially a college extra point. Like, the Browns have had extra point issues, but college extra point is like from the 2-yard line.
Yeah,
It
I'm
should
not
be
even talking
automatic.
just like, I'm talking like, are you an athlete? I'm not talking just soccer. I'm talking, are you an athlete of any sort? Are you just somebody you're not even playing college athletics? I want to see you kick. Are you a stud on the girls' soccer team? I want to see you kick too. I don't care. Like, we got to find somebody. It's pretty brutal. But Notre Dame's schedule, I will say, like, we should run the table the rest of the way. I will say, and I know I said this to you yesterday, they should walk through Navy, a 7-1 Navy team. Navy does play their best against Notre Dame every year. They have a goofy offense, and if Notre Dame goes in there with the defense playing crappy, this is like the Louisville game of a couple years ago, or the what was it, Indiana Tech? What was the game we lost last year? Was it Indiana Tech or whatever?
Northern Illinois.
Or Northern Illinois, I'm sorry. Like, this could be that game. I hope it's not. I think Pitt's a good team the week after. We can't play crappy against them. You know, Cuse is a 3-6 team, but there's another team that plays us good. So, like, we got to come in ready to go and play in all these games. I think, you know, we got 2 homes, 2 away during that period of time. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So we're probably we got about an hour and a half till the AP 25 rankings come out. So I think Vandy lost. We got Miami lost. Miami, I'm going to call a wash because they were at 10. So it hurts us a little bit, but I got to think we jump them losing to SMU. So you got, who was it? Miami. We got, Vandy lost. There were like 4. I could see us going up anywhere from potentially 8 to 10. Potentially. I think a blowout yesterday, probably we could have been looking at in that 8-9 range. I don't know what that's going to do now, but yeah, Georgia Tech lost. That was 8. Vandy lost. Miami lost. And let's see, did Georgia end up winning? No, yeah, Georgia did. They had a scare. So, you know, I can see us maybe going up. Nobody below us really did anything that scares me, whereas the prior couple weeks we had the BYU Vandy jump. So we will see.
Texas Tech 13 did beat Kansas State 43-20. I could see them jumping us. I could see us being at like 11.
Yeah,
if we move up at all, I'll be happy.
Yeah, if we could just get like to the 10 and then win out, I'm feeling pretty good. So we shall see. We're winding down on the college football season. So anyway, let's go over more my Avs stuff. Feel like I rep some Avs today. They're off to a great start. They're in a little bit of a slump when we last talked about them. With that said, they're only a 1-loss team. And then we had 2 back-to-back wins, and then they had a back-to-back game. So we beat Vegas. That's a huge win on Friday, and then followed that up with a Saturday OT loss to San Jose, which San Jose is not a terrible team, and it was Blackwood's first game back on a back-to-back. We have some injuries, and some guys so Taylor McCarr, Kale's brother, got pulled up, so and got to play. So there's some injuries. So, like, I'm going to take 3 points out of 2 games any day of the week. We're still in first place. Martin Netchus just signed that 8 times $11.5 million deal. If we can get Drury under contract, I take Drury and Netchus on the deals they're at, the way Martin Netchus is looking right now, than just keeping Miko, particularly with the age. So I think that looks great. And then he followed that up by, he's been on a little bit of a tear since he signed that contract, man. He looks great. I think the question on him is what's he going to look like in the playoffs, but, you know, he's playing with some absolute studs on that front line, and I don't think he's played with that talent. He'll be fine. So, I don't know. Did you catch any of the games last week?
I didn't watch any. I do think that I'm happy about the Netchus contract. I honestly feel like that's why, I know Miko went to Dallas and has had success, but whoever fits into that spot, they're gonna have success playing with everybody else. I did see 13 minutes ago the Avalanche tweeted that Taylor McCarr is back to the Eagles.
Yeah.
So quick little trip to Denver, but yeah, I didn't really watch much of him.
Yeah. He didn't play much. He was up for Gavin Brindley, who's the kid we got in the Charlie Coyle trade from Columbus.
Blue Jackets,
he's tough. Yeah, he's good, and he was a little dinged up, so I think they're obviously gonna bring that kid along if he's healthy to play. I mean, I think our goalie situation, despite McKenzie just getting back, Wetchy's looked great. I think Minor's shown that he can be a capable NHL backup. So I think that's so much better than it was to start the year last year. I think the top 2 lines look better since the adjustment. So Landy got bumped down to the 3rd, and they moved Ross Colton up with Valerie Nichushkin and Brock Nelson. That line's looking good. You know, the Netchus, Likkonen, and McKinnon line looks great. Brett Burns is starting to gel with his pairing. We'll have Gerard coming back. You got Keevy coming back. Drury looks pretty good. I think overall this team's looking great where they are right now in the year. They're going to tweak. They're going to gel. They're going to get better. I feel like their bottom 6 depth is huge. they got a lot of guys that are either, resting up or not quite back. The one thing I've heard great things about Landy being back as captain in the room. I think he's slumping a little bit right now. I hope he's just sort of getting his sea legs back under him, but he hasn't looked wonderful. But we will see. It's going to be interesting. The mayor's skating. So, like I said, once LOC gets back, that's going to create a little bit of a logjam in that bottom six. He's a center, so I got to think him and Drury are your two guys at 3C, 4C. But we'll see. It's both those guys are third line players, but our PK is already good, and then you're gonna bring LOC back. Like who hasn't really shown up on the score sheets either? That's just been playing like a man on a mission is Valerie Nichushkin. And like compared to the last few years, like he's like yucking it up with the guys, like hyping guys up, jumping on the goalies, like just using his physical body, like laying out for pucks. Like that guy seems to be in just an awesome mental space right now. And it's kind of scary because Valerie Nichushkin in his own right could take over a game. So that's pretty good to see. So exciting. We'll see, but don't have tons left. But I did want to talk. College wrestling kicked off last weekend, so I think they had the All-Star Classic. The biggest. I didn't catch tons of it. I know Mendez took out. It was at Ecomedia. I'm sure I butchered his name, but we're right in the middle of it. So that kicked off. The Berg boys were at Adrian. Looks like they had a good showing. I think they were like half a point out of taking second place at that tournament. So that was kind of good to see. They had some good numbers. Their numbers in the upper weights earlier in the season looked pretty good, and it sounds like they have quite a few football players that they'll be getting probably here in mid-ish December back. But yeah, so team looked pretty good. Despite some hijinks with the Chipotle order that may or may not have been suspect on your side of the house, Nate. I don't know. You got your integrity got questioned.
I know they're blaming me because I got an extra order of guacamole. I'm like, bro, that was not me. I don't know why I'm being accused, but yeah, I think they did pretty good. I don't like what happened to track. Track wrestling's dead and it's all flow now. I hate it. I can't find the brackets, so I don't really know how anybody did.
So they're
making
on.
Me super angry.
I found them. So the way they did track for that tournament, where you clicked and it took you to Flow, which by the way, like the Flow arena sucks. It's so
terrible.
bad. There is a way, so if you click on class, so I didn't find it till after the tournament was over, but you can get into the actual bracket team results and all that off a track, but it's like a backwards way to get in there, so it kind of sucks. So I know they had you guys got a championship at 84, so that was pretty awesome to see. Quite a few placers along the way, and some guys picking up some early season wins, stuff to build on. So
see, when I go on it, it just says brackets are not available.
So are you in track or in Flow?
It took me to Flow.
So if you go to track wrestling and you go to OPC in the middle, and so if you look if you go to track wrestling, go to OPC, take college wrestling, pick NCAA for governing body, and you enter the tournament from there. So like yesterday, it showed the Adrian Open, and you click on it off that page, it actually takes you to your normal track classic view. But like I had to play around with this sucker all day yesterday to get that thing to come up. It was pretty annoying. So, yeah, no, I don't love that. Did you get there?
Trying to find the Adrian tournament.
So I know they have that. They got just coming up here in a few months. John Carroll combined duel with the women's coming up. The girls team didn't wrestle last weekend yet, right? I didn't think so. Okay, and then they got the holiday duels. Yeah, we're in the thick of it right now. Did you figure it out?
I think so. I was on women's.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. This looks right.
Just get her together.
I got it.
It shouldn't be that hard, though. I don't know, but they should not have made it that hard. But yeah, from a point total, I think they scored 124 points. So that's a nice big point total for the year. And I think, Adrian did their typical varsity tournament and then the freshman sophomore tournament, and it looked like I believe Heidelberg sent everybody into the varsity tournament. So that's good. That's good experience and competition for those guys. Did you get it together?
I
Any
did.
thoughts, reactions on anyone?
I knew my boy Owen was gonna get the dub.
Yeah, sweet. He had a nice tournament. Looks like he powered his way
Steamrolled.
through. He did.
Yeah.
He did. And then so yeah, they looked good numbers. I think Tristan had a nice tournament at 74. It looked like
I haven't got there yet.
he's
There's some
clicking. He's
people
looking.
place.
Yeah,
There's some
they had
people
quite a
place.
yeah, quite a few guys on the podium. So
Sweet.
yeah, good to say. So I'm gonna say like that performance for first tournament of the year, knowing you're missing some guys. I mean, not to cause any controversy, but I would say they deserve an extra guacamole.
I would agree. I would agree.
Maybe even some queso.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
I
well.
don't make the rules. They just get accused.
You had that one chambered for like 12 months, so it's fine. You had to get it out. Anywho, well, yeah, like I said, I'll be descending on Cleveland in about, 11 days here. Meet up with my boy Nate. We got a nice weekend of football watching, 12-ounce curls. We're going to get up to in the Muni lot. Apparently, we're doing a fan meetup somewhere. So if you guys don't hear from us after the Browns games, we're not okay. So send out the search parties because, we got us a stalker. So you haven't made it till you find yourself a stalker. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But got some, I'll just do a little breaking news. We got some merch in the works here, so some potential sticker shirts and hats. So stay tuned to our website, flagandfollow@richandnate.com. We'll be adding a merch page. Anybody's interested in repping some primo gear around town, be the first to get it. And yeah, that's about all I got. Nate, how about you? Any parting thoughts?
Not really.
No.
Yeah, that coffee's kind of taking me out. Right
Yeah.
now I'm fighting demons over here.
you got another big day planned with yourself of NFL, PlayStation. What's you got going on?
I need to go for a run and then do one thing for homework and then watch some football.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're gonna reach out to our fan base. Nate's on a search for some new neutral running cushion shoes. So if you have any recommendations, we clip up our video on any of the platforms. You stream it on YouTube or whatever. If you could throw something in the chat. He's looking for something for a heavier runner, heavy cushion, full neutral. So we're looking for recommendations, guys. Help a boy out. So, but other than that, nothing coming up. We're in the festive holiday season, so pretty excited about that. So we got several meetups here over the next 2 months here. A week in Cleveland, a weekend in Cleveland, potentially a Ravens Bills game on the docket, and who knows what else. So y'all enjoy your week off, Browns fans. I want you to know, if you're talking to a therapist this week, make sure that you're getting it all out. You're getting yourself, centered, focused, ready for a late season run of 9-0 for the Brownies. But otherwise, yeah, everybody chill out. Have a good week. Stay cool. Nate,
Peace out.
peace out. Take her easy, everyone.
Come back, beat kicks and crowd noise, whistle blows.